Yes, guys. Yesterday I was talking about what, guys? Mini project as a layered application. In standalone application, how many layers we identified? Database software layer to store the data. DAO class to persistent, to play only persistence logic. Service class only to have business logic. Controller class only to have monitoring logic, just controlling activity. Client application or main class to place presentation logic. And someone asking me, what is the difference between persistence and presentation? If you just listen in the name itself, solution is there. Persistence is all about talking to database and performing code operations on database. Presentation is all about providing user interface to end user, using which we can gather the inputs, we can display the output in a formatted environment. That means good look and appearance will be there. Okay. Yesterday I said the advantage of developing layered application in Spring is, or Spring Boot is, we can make these main classes, DAO class, service class, controller class as Spring Beans. The moment we made them as Spring Bean, loading those classes, creating objects, managing objects will be taken care by Spring Container. You are least bothered about doing that work. Another advantage. Injecting DAO class object to service class will be taken care by Spring Container. Injecting service class object to controller class object will be taken care by. Okay, sir. Controller class object also should be injected to whom? Client application or main class. Why are you not doing it? It's a standalone application. There should be one main method class. Generally, we take client application doing that work, right? So when client application is having container creation code, guys, definitely it can call ctx.lookup method. If you pass the controller class bin ID, you will get controller class object, which internally having service class object, that internally having DAO class object. What's the advantage of developing layered application using Spring or Spring Boot? Number one, the main classes like DAO service controller classes can be configured as Spring Bean. So their lifecycle management is taken care by whom? IOC container. That's the number one. Number two, there is a possibility of injecting, come on guys, container only injects DAO class object to service, service class object to controller. So that you need not to worry about what? This dependency management. Okay. That's what we discussed in last class. Now, next level, guys. Listen carefully. That's fine, sir, but how to pass data among these layers? Up to three values, we can design method with three arguments. We can call the method with three arguments. We can design the method with three parameters. But if more than three values are there, other than I have given Java Bean videos to watch, right? How many of you watched it, guys? I think you enjoyed that video. Very clearly, I explained need of Java Bean in the industry. Java Bean is a main class, a helper class. Helper class, a main class. Helper class, not the main class. These are the main classes. Controller, DAO, service. These are the main classes. Between these classes, among these classes, across these classes, if you want to pass the data, especially more than three values, we will designing method with individual parameter or Java Bean, guys. Okay, here I am introducing the Java Bean. Client application wants to pass more than three values to the controller class. We are taking what support, guys? Model class object. The Java Bean, which is holding the data, is called model class. See, category wise Java Bean, guys, since it is carrying the data, data is also called model. Model is data, data is model. That's why Java Bean class object is also called as what? Model class object. Client application is passing more than three values from client application to controller as what? Model class object. Control passes to service, model class object. Service passes to DAO, model class object. Nothing but Java bean class object. But do you think database understand Java's concepts, guys? No. That's why DAO class, whatever it is, you use Hibernate, use JDBC, use some other technology. At the end, it sends and executes what queries, guys? SQL query in the database software to perform all code operations on the database. Okay, after that, database software gives query execution results as SQL results. Come on. Somehow DAO collects those results. Converting to again Java bean class object. Oh, earlier Java bean, new Java bean. If inputs only coming as output, what is need of this Angama, right? Definitely another Java bean will be used. If at all there are more than 3 outputs, come on guys. Okay. So that is passed to service. Service passes those results to controller. Controller passes those results to client. Client application will display for end user or not, guys? Client application will display for end user or not, guys? Let's take a use case, guys. Client application is passing total 5 details to controller. Student number, student name, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3. Total how many details? Controller is passing them to service class. What service class will do? Business logic, right? Calculating total average and generated rank also. Generated rank. Okay, that's good, guys. So now, out of these 5 inputs, 3 results. Total how many? 8. But I want to save only 4 details. Whatever I want to save, okay, those details again I'll keep in Java bean class object. I will pass to DAO class or not, guys. What are those 4 details? Number, name, total, average. Only these 4 details I want to save. Those details are given to DAO. DAO directly, indirectly sends and execute SQL query in the database software. In that process, record is inserted or not, guys. SQL query result means what? Record insertion means success. Failure means what? Some message. Those results will be gathered by DAO. If simple output directly passes to service, service passes to controller, controller passes to client application. Everyone understanding my statement? See, inputs are what? SNO, SNAME, SADD, M1, M2, M3. Service class calculates total and average. And outputs are what, guys? Student registration, success or failure information. Simple 1, 2 values means we can directly send and receive was. More than 3 values means it's recommended to work with what? Java bean. Technically, this Java bean is called as what? Model class. Java bean that just acting as a data carrier is called model class. Other name. Right now, you worry about only model class name. So final conclusion is what, guys? While developing layered application, we make DAO service controller classes as Spring Bean, and we enable dependency injection among them. Part number 1. Part number 2, we use Java Bean as helper classes to pass data from one class to another class, either as inputs, either as results. Either inputs or results, we take the support of Java Bean or not, guys. Mister, get up. Should I say what you are doing? Go back and stand. I just said Mister. He automatically realized I am that person. That means he knows what he is doing, right? Okay. Java main is a Java class that contains what, guys? Getter setter method. Setter methods are useful to set the data or modify the data. Getter methods are useful to read the data from bin properties. While sending more than 3 values between what? Classes are classes of the project, we try to send them in the form of what? Single object called Java bean class object, right, guys? Since each Java bean class object holds some data to carry, it is called model class because model means data. We always use Java Bean as what? Helper class in the project or application development to pass multiple values from one class to another class of the different layers in the form of what? Objects. I think you understood. First, I introduced layers. Then I asked what is the advantage of developing these layers using Spring setup. Now, how to pass data across the layers we are discussing. In that process, I introduced Java Bean or not. But it's a mini project, many things we have to learn. Right now, I'm just introducing one by one. I'm just introducing one by one. Okay, guys. Across the multiple projects or across the multiple layers of a project, if you want to pass more than three values, we take the support of what? Java Bean class object. We combine multiple values to single Java Bean class object and we send that object from one layer to another layer of the same projects are what? Different projects. Passing student info from client application to controller to DAO class in the form of student class object having multiple details. Student object is single object, but in that one, five details will be there. Passing credit card or debit card details from e-commerce application Myntra.com to PayPal project in the form of Java Bean class object. What's the difference between example 1 and example 2, guys? Example 1 within a project, example 2 across the two projects, right, guys? Java Bean or model classes or helper classes, they don't fall under any category or layer because they are separating, guys. In bank, cash clerk manager, these are the main people. But office boys will be there. Will they fall under any category, guys? Office boys are common for entire office. So will they say I am for manager, I am for cashier kind of thing? So Java beans don't fall under any category because they can be used as data carrier in between any two classes, right, guys? Super, guys. Next one. Advantages of developing layered application. Slowly you are getting idea, boss. Come on. How to develop the layered application? Mainly 3 points are introduced so far. Number one, if you develop layered application main classes as Spring Beans, we have advantage. One is what? Spring container take care of lifecycle management, dependency management. Number two, across these classes of same project or different project, if there is a need of passing more than three values, we don't design the method with more and more parameter. We design the method with only one parameter, that is Java Bean. But the Java Bean is able to carry any number of values. At a classroom level, I have taken 5 inputs, Babu. You think about passport application form kind of thing, or some other application form of real life, 20 value, 30 value, 40 value. Are you going to design a method is having 40 parameters? Client application going to call method with 40 argument. Controller class is going to receive method with what? 40 parameter. Is it going to work out? If we really work with 40 argument, while passing we should remember order. One here and there problem. Some values are not there. Can I ignore them? While calling method, can I ignore the argument passing? Right. Though you don't like, you have to pass sensible, meaningful default values or not. We should remember the order. We cannot ignore the value. And moreover, kills the readability of the code or not. I'm explaining to someone, how you explain? Method with these many parameters is going to work out. It's a blind rule. More than three, no individual parameter. Combine all parameters into one word. Java Bean. You design Java Bean. In source class, you create Java Bean class object, set the data. Call the method having Java Bean class object. In destination class, you design Java method having Java Bean as the parameter and start reading data from Java Bean class object. Start reading data from Java bean class object. At least today you got the idea. Are you ready to say you and me are the main classes? Admin staff is like Java beans or not, guys? They're just helping us to make sure class is happening smoothly. They are not main components, they are the helper components only, right? They may feel they are main component, but actually they are not. ऐसा no na. But we also give the feeling they are the main components. Otherwise, they don't work. ऐसा no na. Super boss. Advantages of layered application. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Clean separation between what, guys? Layered application means multiple layers will be there or not there, guys? Yeah, here what is there? Clean separation between clean separation of logics. What, guys? Clean separation of logics. Clean separation of logics. Clean separation of logics is possible. So we can say code is not clumsy. At a bachelor room, everything is mixed up. 4 BHK, separate. ऐसा no na. Clean separation of logics is code is not clumsy na. We can get code modularity and reusability. When different logics are there in different classes, reusability will be increased or not. The modification done in one layer logic does not affect what? Other layer logic. That is also another interesting part or not, guys? The project maintenance and enhancement becomes what? Quite easy. Super. Parallel development is possible. That means what? Productivity is good. I can assign one programmer dedicatedly working on DAO classes, one fellow dedicatedly working on service class, one fellow dedicatedly developing controller class. It is industry standard architecture to develop the projects. Both monolith architecture, microservice architecture projects can have layers. Layers are quite possible in both. Only the thing is, in those layers, you are developing all services together. Only one service. Only one service you are developing in those layers. Microservice architecture. Because like this, many projects will be there. Later we integrate, right? In those layers, you are developing all services, guys. Come on. Layers are there, but all modules and all services are related logics you are placing in the layers. Then it is called what? Monolith architecture. Mono means single. Monolith architecture. I hope you got it, guys. Okay. What are the 3 points that we discussed so far? Number 1, develop the application as a layered application. Don't stop doing single class development or single file development. Number 2, if you make layers, main classes of the layered application as Spring Bean, container only take care of Spring Bean lifecycle management, dependency management. How? DAO to service, service to controller. Number 3, if there is a need of passing more than 3 values across this layer, either while passing inputs or while getting outputs, either while passing inputs or while getting output, then prefer working with what? Java bean. Don't design Java method more than 3 parameter. If you are designing Java method having more than 3 parameter, it is you are a bad designer, or you should have a exclusive reason for that thing. Either you should have a solid convincing reason, or you are a bad developer. Yes or no? Super, guys. Right. Point number 4, how this DAO talks to database software. Now I'm bringing 4th point into picture. Yes or no? Now listen, guys. I am connecting to database 300 times by running the application 300 times. 300 connection objects are created and destroyed. That is good. That is good. Okay. I just created 50 connection objects, but they are used for 300 interactions, which is good, guy. I just created 50 connection object, but they are used for 300 interaction. Second one is good, or first one is good? Second one says you keep a pool of connection objects ready so that you can use them whenever you need in the execution of the application or not, guys. Don't you think it is called JDBC connection pool? JDBC connection pool. Come on, guys. Whatever you learned in advanced Java JDBC in last class is a waste of time. Not entire thing, especially connection creation process is there. Na? Connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection, first argument, second argument, third argument. That's a waste of time learning. But you have to learn. Why? To know it is bad. Yes or no? Na? You have to do friendship with all people, Ra. Then you will understand importance of good friend, right? If you don't have a friend called bad, how you will understand importance of good friend, right, guys? Connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection. Maybe a great statement in your advanced Java learning intermediate level, but in real time we don't use it. Why? Connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection is creating direct JDBC connection object. If that line is executed 300 times, 300 connection objects are created. Waste of time now was. And in Java, connection, any object creation is costly affair, and database connection object is more costly affair because it has to locate and establish connection with the database software. If you think about reusability of already created connection object, at least for multiple times. Yes or no? Na? Other day, how I talked about chair pool using lesser chairs. Daily you observe in the classroom chair pool is happening or not? Happening or not happening? How can you say chair pool is happening? Management purchased how many chairs? 400 chairs. But per day they are giving service to how many students? Let us assume 6 batches are happening in this classroom. 6 into 4, 2,400 people are servicing. Because of reusability of chairs, with the minimum chair they are giving service to maximum students. For example, tomorrow, management said that we are not providing chair, bring your own chair. Along with the books, you are also carrying the chair. Maybe for my classes, only chair. Yes or no? Na? Okay, I'll open one furniture shop in front of Naresh IT. Why all these classes are on time? For a chair, 100 rupees margin, also lot of money I can earn, right? Okay, per day 2,000, not per batch, or for 3 months, 4 months period, 2,400 chairs are required. So that means more chairs are not less reusability. Working with the direct connection also that much bad, guys. Instead of that, what said? They asked student, don't bring chairs. We purchased the chair and we use across the multiple batches. This is nothing but chair pool concept where chairs are used or not, guys. Apply the same theory for connection pool. In the execution of application, I am hitting the database software 300 times. 300 connection objects are created. Lot of waste of time, right? Resources, memory, lot of waste of. I created a connection pool in the execution of the application having 50 connections maximum. I started with the 10 connections only. Max to max, I am asking to have what? 50 connections. If someone asks parallel connections also within the execution of the application, max of 50. But morning to evening, to overall 1,000 times it has hit the database software. But how many connection objects are used, guys? 50 on. So lot of reusability is there or not there. That is because of what? Connection pool. So the other day you introduced the cache, today you introduced a pool. Cash is giving reusability. Pool is also giving reusability. What is the difference between cash and pool, sir? Both are giving reusability, right? Cash gives reusability of different items. Cash means set of different item. In the internal cache, all are same Spring Bean class objects or different Spring Bean class. It means set of same items. JDBC connection full 50 number. All are same connection objects or not? The two pointing to same database software or not, guys? Money pool, all things are money only. Ideas pool, all are ideas only. Chair pool, all are same chairs only. Set of same items, pool. Set of different item, cash. If I want to implement pool manually on my own, I prefer set collection or list collection. I prefer set collection or list collection. Huh? Why are you thinking what dirty fellows? List allows duplicates, set allows duplicates. Then what should I do? Either array or list collection. But array I don't prefer. Why? Array is dynamically growable. And moreover, array elements needs continuous memory, right? List does not need continuous memory for the elements, right, boss? So I prefer list collection or not. I want to implement cache. What you prefer, set collection or map collection? For implementing cache behavior on my own, I should use map all seta. Map ra, not the set. Why? Because different item means every item should have identity. Identity can be key. Value can be different objects. And my dear, set in place, set implementation also internally map implementation only. You know that. Without map, there is no set collection. Set collection is nothing but values, only values of map collection. Set is used means internally map is used. I don't know whether you studied this point in core Java or not. Studied or not studied? Okay, set is not official. Internally, that is also what? Map. Yeah. What is the question? What is the difference between pool and cache? Some part of industry calls this cache as what? Buffer. Guys, I am preparing a lot of background for this mini project because multiple concepts we have to use together. Whatever we learned so far, plus whatever I am giving, plus our analysis on the project development, coding standards, all together reflects in mini project. First mini project now looks a bit heavy, but once you complete first mini project, you will enjoy like anything because industry, all projects are layered applications. This is just a beginning. I said every 15, 20 days, we will be having one or other mini project. I just started today, guys. Fine. Focus. That's why so many inputs, yes, until they are collected and prepared together, it looks like multiple input. That's why I keep on saying, so far these points are covered. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? Like this, another 3, 4 points will come. Then we use all things together in the project development. Right. This is the code. This kind of code you have to write after joining in the company. Not Flipkart DTDC, and not a vehicle engine. Vehicle already having engine in real world. You need not to write that. If someone asks you, What kind of projects you develop after joining company? All my projects are layered application. Which, okay, in which layer you are there mostly? Most of the time you will get chance to work in service and DAO layer. Up to 4 years experience means you will be doing more and more service and DAO layer. Yes or no? More than 4 years, you will get chance to work in UI and other places. Full stack developer, up to 4 years, backend service and DAO layer. After 4 years, they make you work in any place because you said you are a full stack developer. Yes or no? Right. Answer. Means set of same item. That means use the reusability of same items. Cache mean cache or buffer. Cache or buffer means what is this? Set of different items. That means, tell me, gives the reusability of different items. Are you getting my point there, guys? Okay. This is my pool example, guys. Here, what we got, guys? Item one, item one, item one, item one. All are same items or not? Item one. Okay, all are same items, boss. That's what I want to say. This is item one. Yeah. Next one is, guys, this is my cache. Set of different items, guys. Set of different items, right? This time, item one. This is I1. Here, different item. I2, I am writing now, boss. I3 here. I4 here. What is that? I4. Set of different items. Yeah, tell me. Gives the reusability of same items. Gives the reusability of same items. Use the reusability of different items, right? Reusability of different items. Tell me, guys, example. To implement this, what is the one we should use? To implement this, use list collection, right? To implement this, example, to implement this, use what collection, guys? Map collection. Map collection. Right, guys. No, this is a statement only, not the example. This is a statement. Here, what is the real example, guys? Example. JDBC connection pool. Here, what is the example, guys, my dear? Internal cache of IOC container. Of IOC container. Yes, boss. Are you able to feel it, guys? What's the difference between pool and cache? Both are for reusability, but this is different story. How many types of JDBC connection objects are there? Two types. Direct JDBC connection object, pooled JDBC connection object. Say I'm not reading things. Before that only I am making you two people feel the concept. Then we are getting into the notes, right? Created by the programmer manually. Your favorite class dot for name, your favorite driver manager dot get connection is there or not there? Whatever connection object we are getting, that is called as what? Direct to JDBC connection object or not, boss? But is it going to be industry standard? Not even one time you will write this line in real time. You are writing means you are not in a correct project. And I feel that is not a project also. Yes or no? Na? You should not write. You should always prefer working with a pooled connection. It is the connection object that is gathered from JDBC connection pool through data source object. Array, connection pool is a collection of objects available in a memory. That memory may be a list collection memory. Memory can be a map collection memory. Referring to that memory, one more object should be there. And that one more object is called data source object. Array, listen, how faculty represent a batch? Adding topic, removing topic, changing timings of the batch, everything is in my control. Data source object represent connection pool. Adding new connection object, destroying existing connection objects, gathering each connection object, deleting each connection object in connection pool can be controlled through data source object. So data source object represent connection pool. That means all operations on connection pool can be done through data source object. Using data source object, we can create the connection object. We can get access to connection object. Yes or no, na, boss? It is the JDBC connection object that is gathered from JDBC connection pool to data source object. Data source object represent JDBC connection pool or not, guys? That means all activities on the connection pool can be done through data source object. So to create connection object directly, driver manager dot get connection. But data source object representing connection pool, how to get each connection object from that connection pool? Very simple, guys. DS is there. Data source means DS, let us assume. DS dot get connection gives me pooled connection object or not? But sir, how does it create connection objects automatically? We can specify parameters while creating connection pool. A minimum connections 5, maximum connection 50. What is that? Sync frequency. Every 60 seconds. Every 60 seconds it will observe. Are there any idle connection object? Destroys them. What is that? Destroys them. Okay, by default connection pool is created with how many connection objects? 5. Not fixed, you can specify that. But more than 5 requirements have come to hit the database software at a time. 6th, 7th will be created. Up to how many connection objects it can 50. But every 60 seconds, what it will do? Checks, are there any idle connection objects in the connection pool? If there, destroys them, except by keeping minimum connection. Minimum connection always available. Apart from minimum, are there any idle connection objects? They will be destroyed continuously. Is it not interesting, Rababu? Don't you think like it's like a chair pool in the classroom? My admin staff always keep 50 chairs in the classroom. That is minimum this one. Right? More than 50 students came. You will arrange more chairs? Yes or no? Na? Here, sync frequency is 2 hours. Every 2 hours, he will come and check the room. Are there any idle chairs? Idle chairs are there. If there, he will remove and keep them outside or backside. Yes or no? Na? Same thing here also. Check it out. Minimum pool size, maximum pool size, and other params can be configured by the programmer while creating JDBC connection pool. Sir, what is the official definition, boss? Minimum size, maximum size, connection timeout, maximum ideal timeout. Come on. Sync frequency. See, minimum size 10. Used or not used, by default connection pool is created with 10 objects. Max size, it can grow up to 1,000. In real time, in a serious web application or distributed application, minimum size will be 1,000, maximum size will be 1 lakh. Because we don't know, na. We don't know. 1 lakh requests came at a time. All 1 lakh requests wants to talk to database from the website. So 1 lakh connections are required or not. University rules are just released, boss. And that university is having 5 lakh students. Minimum you have to keep 1 lakh pool size or not. At least 10,000 pool size or not. First 2-3 hours, lot of traffic will be there. Later it will reduce. The people who failed will not check more than one time. Because what's the use? The people who succeeded, right? They will check a number of times to show off others, to show off to others. Look at me, look at me, look at my performance, look at my score. Okay. But definitely there is a possibility of having huge traffic or not, guys. Your favorite hero trailer is launched. In YouTube, lot of hits will be there in the initial 1 hour. So if at all that video is there in the database, for connectivity is required with the database or not, guys? Okay, guys. That's why max size. Connection timeout. What is connection timeout? After asking connection object from connection pool, okay, data source object waits for how many seconds? 100 seconds. Within 100 seconds, if it is able to give connection, fine and good, gives it. If it is not able to give connection because no ideal connection object, no free connection object, already all connection objects are busy and pool is also reached to max capacity. Then you will get an exception. After 100 seconds, you will get exception. Sorry, boss. All connections are busy and pool also reached to max capacity. Let us take this situation. This room capacity is 400. All 400 chairs are full. And no free space in the classroom to give the new chair also. Anyone who comes should wait. How much time will wait? You will wait you will wait for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you get the clarity. Today, I'm not going to get the chair. You will go back or not, guys? You will definitely go back or not, guys? Connection timeout. Next one. Maximum idle timeout. If any connection object is continuously idle for 60 seconds, it will be removed, guys. Sync frequency for every 2000 seconds, it will continuously check, are there any idle connection objects? Are there any idle connection object? Okay, completing this max idle timeout, the moment they are found, they will be deleted. Just apply for chair pool, you will understand everything. Hey, sir, a lot of connections will be wasted, will not be wasted if you have these parameters properly. If you don't design this parameter properly, definitely wasted. My admin people will not manage a chair pool properly, definitely chairs will be wasted. There are batches where 5 students, 10 students are there, but he kept all the 400 chairs on. Chairs are wasted unnecessarily, right? Okay. JDBC connection pool is a factory that contains set of readily available JDBC connection objects before actually being used. That's what, na? Chair pool is a factory where set of chairs are readily available before actually being used. The chairs are arranged after your arrival or before your arrival. ऐसा no na. Advantages of connection pool are user reusability of connection objects. Okay, chair pool. Chair is giving reusability now, boss. With the minimum JDBC connection object, we can make maximum request or client application talking to database software or not there. With the 50 connection objects, I can make 100, 200 requests talking to database software because I know all 200 requests will not come at a time. They come simultaneously, right, guys? Number C, tell me. Creating new JDBC connection objects, managing them, removing idle connection objects will be taken care by what? Connection pool itself. So no burden to the programmer. Who is responsible to purchase the chair in the classroom? Naresh IT. Managing, cleaning, removing damaged chair or unused chair. You have any headache now? And now, if you go in manual connection, guys, who has to create you? Who has to manage you? Who has to close you? Who has to destroy by keeping ready for garbage collection? You. Connection pool means everything is taken care by what? Connection pool itself or not, guys? Faculty represent batches. Anything on batch should be done by faculty. Yes or no? Na? Similarly, data source object represent connection pool. Creating new connection object, destroying existing connection object, everything will be taken care by data source object. Yes or no, na, guys? Data source object is nothing but connection pool, guys. Memory wise connection pool, guys, but appearing object for the programmer to manipulate the connection pool, to use the connection pool, to work with the connection pool is nothing but what, guys? Data source object. So, guys, what is the JDBC connection pool that you have used in your projects? That you have used in your project. First of all, how many types of connection pools are there, guys? Okay, before that, one important statement I want to give. Data source object represent JDBC connection pool. It acts as what? Entry and exit point for connection pool. That means all the operations on JDBC connection pool will be done using data source object. One more point, guys. All connection objects in connection pool represents connectivity with the same database software. Set of same item. First connection object pointing to Oracle means all other connection objects also points to same Oracle because they are copies of same objects, right? Example, JDBC connection pool for Oracle. All connection objects in that connection pool represent connectivity with what? Oracle database software. JDBC connection pool for MySQL. All connection objects in that connection pool represents connectivity with what? MySQL database software. Is that clear, guys? All the JDBC connection objects in the JDBC connection pool represents the connectivity with the same database software. Represents the connectivity with the same database software. Example 1, JDBC connection pool for Oracle. What is this? All JDBC connection objects in the pool represents connectivity with, come on guys, same Oracle database software. Connectivity with what? Same Oracle database software. Two types of JDBC connection pool, guys. Standalone, server managed. Listen, how many types are there? Two types. Standalone, this one. Standalone means what? Suitable for standalone application. That means they are nowhere related to server, guys. They are nowhere related. Suitable in standalone application, guys. What are those? C3P0, Ikari CP, Proxul, Apache DBCP, Vibhu, and etc. I'm not scolding anyone, just names, boss. Hikari CP is the best. And you know one thing? In every Spring Boot project, the default connection pool is Ikari CP. The best is default here. Server manager JDBC connection pool. We develop the web application, we deploy in server. Maybe web server Tomcat or application server Glassfish. Maybe web server Tomcat or application server Glassfish. What do you say, guys? Point to be noted, guys. Point to be noted. They also offer connection pool. They also offer connection pool. If your application is using underlying server JDBC connection pool, that is called server managed JDBC connection pool. Tell me, boss, I have a web application or some other big application which is deployable in the server. Better to use a standalone connection pool or server managed connection pool? Huh? Why? Because it is deployed in the server. Server is already having connection pool. No need of arranging connection pool. That's why it's better to use server managed connection pool. This is how you are convinced yourself. Wrong analyzation. Today, my web application is there in Tomcat server. You have used a Tomcat server connection pool by doing some configuration related to Tomcat. Tomorrow, I moved my web application to Glassfish server. In Glassfish, again, I have to do configuration to use connection pool. From there to Jetty server. Jetty, again, I should do configuration to use the connection pool, guys. Because connection pool settings are at server level. Whenever I move my application to another server from current server, I have to do settings in the server level. If I forget to do that, application will not run there. That means headache to the person who is running application in other server. Suppose in these applications also, I used what? Standalone connection pool, which is developed as part of the coding, not in the server. Coding in the web application. Okay, connection pool code now moves along with the web application from one server to another server. In every server, standalone connection pool is created automatically without doing any server settings. Come on, guys. So tell me, which is more portable? Server managed connection pool or standalone connection pool? That's why, though your application is web applications as a distributed application, deployable in the server, we still prefer working with what? Standalone connection pool. Long back, people did wrong analysis. If standalone application, standalone connection pool. Deployable application in the server means server managed connection pool. But now they got crystal clear clarity with experience. Any kind of application in Java, it's better to use what? Standalone connection pool. What connection pool, guys? A simple theory I will tell to understand this. You have a machinery, it needs a power. It needs a power. Two options are there. Option number one, that is having battery power. That is having battery power or solar power, let us assume. You move to any place, it will connect to solar, get the power, water runs. Yes, na? That is one option. Another option, guys. Wherever you go, you have to plug the power, then power will come. Okay, which is good, guys? First one or second one? First one. You can go anywhere. You need not to do any change. Because of solar power comes in motor runs, right, guys? But if you go to different places, okay, in India wattage will be there. US wattage will be there. Singapore wattage will be there. You have to convert, you have to purchase the converters, adapters. Because of incompatibility in what is that, motor made damage, right? But if I go for solar power, guys, what's the advantage, boss? Just to keep outside, okay, power comes, remit motor runs. So standalone connection pool is like solar power or not, guys? Yeah. Every web server or application server gives built-in JDBC connection pool. So better to use that connection pool in deployed application, web application, distributed applications, guys. Tomcat managed connection pool, WebLogic managed connection pool, Wildfire managed connection pool. All these are what, guys? All these are what, guys? Server managed connection pool. Spring Boot application gives Hikari CP as what? Built-in JDBC connection pool to auto configuration if we add JDBC JPA related starters. Spring Boot starter JDBC or Spring Boot starter JPA. When these two are any one starter is added, then we get what? Hikari data source object pointing to JDBC connection pool automatically as a Spring Bean through what configuration, guys? Auto configuration in both a standalone and a web application. It is standalone web application. You will get Hikari CP as the built-in connection pool or not, guys? But through auto configuration or not, guys? In Spring Boot application, we can work with what? All types of JDBC connection pool, all kinds of server managed connection pool. But in Spring Boot application, we get Hikari CP based JDBC connection pool support automatically through auto configuration process. In Spring, we have both options to work, but in Spring Boot, every time what? This one. The above said standalone JDBC connection pool, server managed connection pool can be used in both Spring Boot application and in what? Non-Spring and Spring Boot application. I hope you got the clarity, guys. What is mostly used JDBC connection pool or data source in our Spring Boot application? Hikari CP represented Hikari data source object because its performance and ability to come as Spring Bean. Ability to come as Spring Bean through auto configuration in the Spring Boot application. Because of this, we prefer working with Hikari CP or not, guys? Okay, I would like to write a small note, guys. What is the note? Because of portability advantage. Portability means what? Ability to move. Ability to move the code. Advantage. We prefer using standalone JDBC connection pool in both standalone connection pool like Hikari CP. What, guys? In both, what is this? Standalone applications, web applications, oblique distributed. So that means, are you going to prefer working with a server managed connection pool anywhere? Will you prefer working with a server managed connection pool anytime, guys? Do you really prefer working with the server managed connection pool? We always prefer working with what? Standalone. That too, what is that? Hikari CP is the best. What is the best? Hikari CP is the best. So, total how many points we discussed, guys? 4 points are discussed. Number one, layered application is good compared to single class or single file application. Number two, if we make main classes as a layered application as Spring Bean, Spring Bean, now tell me what happens, guys. Their lifecycle management injection will be taken care by IOC container. That's the second point, my dear. Super. Next, number three. While passing more than three values across these layers, don't prefer taking method with more than three parameter. Prefer designing them through Java Bean. Data carrier. Okay, boss? Number four. Okay. While connecting to database in layered application, don't prefer direct connection, prefer pooled connection where we can enjoy reusability of the connection objects. Where we can enjoy reusability of the connection object. Okay, now listen guys, where this data source object is required. DAO needs a data source object for connectivity to database. Okay, data source object is a Spring Bean. If at all, if I configure data source object as Spring Bean, anyway, in Spring Boot application, Hikari data source object is coming as a Spring Bean through auto configuration. Registered or not? Can I inject that one to DAO? That means one more Spring Bean has come into picture or not, guys? Super, guys. Note. In Spring Boot applications, we inject data source object, Spring Bean, right? To DAO class object, through dependency injection using dependency injection concept. What concept, guys? Dependency injection concept. Using dependency injection concept. Oh. I hope you are understanding my statement, guys. Okay. I think someone asked a lengthy question. Let me go through that. Inject data source object to geo class object using dependency injection concept. Okay, I'm telling to last one, whoever wrote this one. Srinivas. Most common name in Telugu states. Don't repeat my statement as it is in the chat box. Because I feel you are asked a great question and I have wasted 1-2 minutes on it, right? Okay, you just repeating my lines. Please, I repeat if needed for you, but you don't write, boss. You just answer whatever I ask, that's it. I think you got the basic 4 points of layered application. Once again, develop layered application by taking multiple classes talking to each other. Make main classes as Spring Bean so that we can enjoy their lifecycle management and injection. What is the advantage? Data source object to DAO, DAO to service, service to controller. Can happily be injected or not, guys? Number three, across these classes, pass data, either inputs or output in the form of Java Bean. Stop designing Java method by having more than 3 parameters. If that situation comes, you have to bring Java Bean into picture. Number four, don't hit the database software from application using manually created connection object. Prefer using pooled connection object, where we can enjoy reusability of the connection objects. Where we can enjoy what, guys? Reusability of the connection object. Yeah. Almost set to develop the mini project, but I would like to revise the annotation that are there in Spring and Springboard, which mean with respect to core module. Can I spend few minutes time on this, guys? What is today's date? First one. Actually, first I should discuss this concept before going to mini project. But any difference between JDBC starters and JPA starter? Definitely, na. That's why they are named as separately JPA starter, right? If difference is not there, see, JPA starters are there getting Hibernate internally. Persistence logic is internally Hibernate code, guys. JDBC starters means what? Just simplifying JDBC coding. JDBC starters are there. Still, you are writing SQL queries based persistence logic. JPA starters are what? Internally Hibernate, na? They allow us to develop objects based persistence concept. Objects based persistence logic, guys. Everything will be done through objects. Bikram, ideal connection means what? First of all, I think problem with you, you don't know the meaning of ideal. First you tell me the English meaning of ideal, then automatically entire meaning will come. Mr. Bikram, I'll tell Samir, wait for a few minutes. I'll take your question. Bikram, please tell me the English meaning of ideal. Bikram, you will not answer question, you will ask question only. Problem with it is not lazy. Idle means sitting workless. What are you doing? Idle at home. What are you doing? Nothing. Air Force. Yes or no? Na? It is not remaining same. Idle means sitting. Idle means sitting workless. Sitting, not doing anything. That is called idle. Okay. Idle connection timeout. What's the meaning of that? Max idle connection timeout. What's the meaning of that? If connection object is continuously idle for certain amount of time, it will be destroyed automatically. Try to learn basic English words from Mr. Bikram. You assumed your own meaning and total meaning will change, right? Okay, guys. CPU idle means yes, CPU is not doing anything, sitting idle. Okay, sync frequency destroy the connection object after every 2000 seconds. If we are using connection also, no. You are not listening class, Mr. Samir. After every 2000 seconds, it will check, are there any idle? Again, this will also don't know meaning of what? Idle. Shame on you, completed engineering, you don't know the English meaning of idle. Okay. After 2000 seconds, it will check, are there any idle connection objects? Idle means getting a free connection object, worthless connection objects. I cannot tell more than this. Okay. If such connection objects are there, they will be destroyed. Ideal means role model. Ideal means worthless. Again, don't confuse yourself. Ideal. He is my ideal person. Ideal person means what? You are inspired from him. Hey, I am teaching English class here, sir. Okay. Guys, Corona batch I understood, but minimum English, Babu. I know you all are Corona engineers. I know, I understood. But these are basic words, guys. Tell me, guys. So now let me explain different categories of annotation that Spring and Spring Boot together is there in core module. In core programming of Spring Boot, we use different categories of annotation. What are they? I categorize these annotations into what, guys? Annotations for configuration, annotations for data supply, injections, guys. Annotations for Spring Bean life cycle. Lastly, what is there? Miscellaneous annotation. What, guys? Okay, guys. Rahul Kamble. There are no license to review. Either software does not specify license or license is already been reviewed upload. Narendra, I think you are keeping wrong message to me. Okay. Listen, Narendra, common sense, ra. While doing which activity, you got which error. You pasted, how can I assume your brain, ra? While doing STS plugin, I got this error. Or while doing that, I got this error. While giving STS plugin, if you are getting problem with one version, try with other version. Both version giving problem up, okay. Problem with Eclipse version, go to previous version. Maybe problem with Eclipse version, go to previous version. Everyone able to install Eclipse STS plugin successfully in latest version only? The latest version you are able to install? Guys, then problem is your side. Maybe your net connection is not good or you are not selecting correct plugin. Spring tool suit you have to select, guys. Okay, guys. 1 minute. I think one more question I missed here. What is that? Yeah, this one, Rahul. Action dot interrupt, maybe they are like a thread. Let me say one thing, guys. You can call only that method on connection object which is there to call. Interrupt method is possible in connection. That is related to thread class, right? How can you call on connection, Babu? Don't create new Java, Babu. Already so many threads are, so many concepts are there. Fine, boss. I want everyone to install STS plugin at any cost. Either you change Eclipse version or STS plugin version, I really don't bother. But STS plugin should be installed. Then only you can develop Spring Boot application. Otherwise, your life become hell towards developing Spring Boot application. Yeah, someone is asking me, sir, why don't you go for IntelliJ? Yes, I'll introduce IntelliJ also. But still industry standard ID is what? Eclipse only. You go and talk a lot of working people, they will say, I'm dealing with what? Eclipse. IntelliJ is having hype because it is newly started hype. Like Python hype was. Python hype, right? Fine. Yeah. Can I go for annotations for configuration, guys? Yeah, these annotations are given to configure Java class as Spring Bean or some other thing. Basically normal class, guys, but I want to tell it is a special class. That means along with the Spring Bean, I want to do some specialities. Or I want to see it's a basic Spring Bean. So, providing info to underlying server or container or framework by marking the code. That means by identify. Is called, come on guys, configuration. This process gives inputs instruction to underlying container or server or framework to recognize and use Java code in certain angle. I'm saying this is not the code what you are thinking. It's more than that. To tell that it's more than that from container perspective, you should use these configuration annotations or not. Servlet class is normal class, but how to tell to container, don't treat one as a normal class. Make it as a servlet, @web servlet. Yes or no, na? It is not a normal class. Take it as a Spring Bean, component. Yes or no, na, boss? Come on. Install easy, but problem with 4. Who asked to install both versions, Babu? Don't install both versions. Install only one version of what? STS plugin. Boss, you are getting this error means it's not incompatible, nothing, Babu. You are getting error means your net connection is not proper or your plugins are off installed. Next time you are trying to complete it. then problem come. Then delete that Eclipse extraction, freshly install, then problem solved. Sometimes what happens, after downloading off, net connection gone. And again, you started from the beginning. Already off is there, na? It says already there, I cannot install. But we don't know how to delete that off because it won't reflect anywhere. So only solution is delete entire extraction of the Eclipse, freshly extract, nothing will be there already, freshly install. Problem with your net connection. If off download, tomorrow in even also you are going to face such problems. Off downloadings are very danger. They don't allow you to go for complete downloading. At the same time, they will give the failing already downloaded. Yes or no? It's something like this, blocking the chair and not attending the classes. They don't allow new people to occupy. At the same time, they also don't use it. It's possible or not, guys? It will take 5 minutes, whatever minutes. Component to configure user-defined class as Spring Bean. Service, Spring Bean come service class. Spring Bean come DAO, repository, I already introduced. Controller, Spring Bean come web controller. REST controller, Spring Bean come web control come REST controller. While developing RESTful web services, we use it. Controller advice, Spring Bean come exception handler service class in REST API. Instead of handling exception in service class, controller classes, we can handle in one common global place, that is controller advice class. This is for global exception handling. What, guys? If you write the methods in controller advice, it will respond for the exception raised in controller class, service class, or repository class. Configuration. User-defined class as Spring Bean come configuration. @bean to make method return object as what? Spring Bean. Annotations for data supply, guys. Auto-wide Spring Bean to Spring Bean injection. Value, simple value injection. Qualifier to solve the ambiguity problem. Primary, solve the ambiguity problem. But listen, Java config annotations are there. What's the specialty, Whatever annotations I talked about so far, they are the Spring supplied annotation. To compile that code, again, Spring jars are required. That means I am losing if POSO, I mean to say non-invasive behavior from the code, na boss. That's why there are some annotation given by JDK, JWE module, but they also can be used in Spring programming. So that what happens, guys? Tomorrow, if I move this code to other framework, since I am not using Spring specific annotation, code becomes non-invasive or not, guys? So far, we discussed about class code as invasive. We did not worry much about annotations, boss. But sorry, in non-invasive means what? I should move to code. I should move my code or classes to other framework, just like that, without worrying about compilation errors, right? But if I use Spring annotation like component @auto-void, do you think in the new framework those annotations will be there? That's why they come up with one concept, guys. Java config annotation. What annotation? What they say, these are JDK, JWE supplied annotation. Some of those annotations are taken by Spring. Spring is providing functionality for them. What's the advantage, boss? Tomorrow, if I move my code, bring it to X framework, same annotations I can use there. Mostly they also